So we find a new warden named Alistair because Duncan asked us to. There's absolutely no reason to talk to this guy. He comments on why there are so few female Grey Wardens because BioWare, and we finally go back to Duncan. Our task before the joining ritual is to go into the Kakari Wilds to get 3 vials of darkspawn blood per each new recruit, along with Alistair, which is their custom, and also to retrieve some ancient Warden treaty scrolls that are magically sealed and will somehow remind current people that they need to help the Wardens fight the darkspawn. This isn't as obscure as it sounds, but it still is exactly what it seems, a fetch quest. We find a crawling straggler who Alistair can patch up, who immediately gets better, who tells us the darkspawn attacked his scouting party by coming out of the ground. This causes Sir Jory to consider our actions as foolish. Sir Jory is a skilled two-handed fighter who also has some archery skills. We find out from Alistair that Grey Wardens can detect darkspawn before they ambush us. Now, if we remember previously, wasn't our brother scouting in the Kakari Wilds? Doesn't that put a hamper on our revenge plot? That we need to tell our brother about the death of our house by Tim Curry? That's not our immediate concern right now, though, but it's good to recall this, even if the game doesn't do a good job of it. So after about a dozen or so skirmishes with darkspawn and collect said vials of blood in the process, we then find some broken chests in some ruins. We discover a witch of the wilds called Morrigan, who says the documents are with her mom. Alistair is his sarcastic self.
Don't answer her. She looks chastened, and that means others may be nearby.
Oh, you fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
And we instantly find ourselves outside Morrigan's mother's hut, who was strangely expecting us.
4 Grey Wardens who...
I see them, girl. Much as I expected.
Are we supposed to believe you were expecting us?
You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Shut one's eyes tight or open one's arms wide. Either way, one's a fool.
Okay then. So Morrigan's mom asks us a general question of what we think, and it's really just pointless banter. This may be the point of her character to confuse the audience while she laughs at us and calls us fools. It's obscure because magical elements in fantasy are obscure and mysterious. Anyway, she gives us the treaties, which she protected even after the magic wore off long ago, we don't know exactly how long ago, and tells us the blight is worse than we think, or actually isn't. It's just silly talk, and Morrigan instantly escorts us back to Ostagar. So we get back to Duncan and start up the ritual. Turns out we have to drink the blood we collected, which will give us darkspawn powers to fight said darkspawn and kill the archdemon. Though that's not really explained, provided we can actually survive drinking the stuff. Since we already know people that have been injured by darkspawn in camp are pretty sick, and dogs are cured or reasonably gotten better by herbs that you have to pick for them by the kennel master that will help the dogs, this is a really bad idea by drinking deadly poison. So Duncan gives the first fellow Davith this big goblet. We're not sure if he properly rationed out each vial of blood for one person, or how he prepares the drink, whether or not we're just chugging blood straight, or whether he just put all the blood together in the goblet. Nor do we know how much the blood is required to drink. This is kind of important when we're talking about poison and people's dispositions to health, like constitution, like why are there so few women in the Wardens now? Anyway, Davith's eyes go white, and then he falls over and dies. Jory gets scared and draws his sword, so Duncan, instead of calming him down or explaining to him that he needs to drink the blood because this is a secret, and he signed up to be a warden, and that he should wait for him to calm down, and that he has no choice in the matter, Duncan just stabs him. For an order that is in desperate need of recruits, and with the chance of Jory dying anyway if he drinks the blood, why in the Maker's mind would Duncan just stab the guy because he got scared? This is like Yoda telling a youngling, hey, you're going to become a Jedi. Well, now's the good time. If you get scared right now, I'll stab you with a lightsaber. Surely the most logical choice would have been to force him to drink it or wait for him to calm down. He could have simply reasoned with him or at the very least knocked him out and forced him to drink, since the joining ritual is a secret to the order. But no, Duncan just wastes a perfectly good opportunity just because one of the most skilled, level-headed, and cautious recruits got scared of watching his colleague die, which is fairly normal. Duncan, you need a good HR department here. You suck at this. Duncan doesn't even skip a beat and just hands you the goblet. And you're like, okay, no problem. No dialogue choice, no preparation, just nothing. You get just start chugging some darkspawn blood.
From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
Wait, we don't know if we're going to survive yet. How do you know we're going to live? Oh, right, you're the main character. So our eyes go white, the same as Davith's did. We see a vision of a dragon, and then we wake up from lying on the ground. Now, wait a moment here. How is this any different from what happened to Davith? How did Duncan know Davith died? Our eyes went white, and we blacked out just like he did, and that was before he hit the ground too. But he knew we were going to live. What the hell is like, come on, do wardens have this magical sixth sense now that tells us what's alive and what's dead?
In my joining, only one of us died, but it was horrible. I'm glad at least one of you made it through.
So if Alistair was one of 3 and only 1 died, that means there's another younger Grey Warden running around, which means Alistair isn't the most junior member as he and Duncan has stated. Or that member has already been killed at a previous date, and it's just totally irrelevant that that happened. Duncan and Alistair tell us that we'll get some weird dreams, that we can now sense darkspawn, and other things will be revealed to us as the months pass, which provides us with no new skills or strengths in fighting the darkspawns, well, that we're going to be fighting shortly at least, since we all know they're coming, so this detection ability is useless. So yay, Grey Wardens? What's the big deal here? So Duncan wants to go talk to the king, and now our dog is back with us. Yay, you intelligent bastard. We find out the king and Loghain have a strategy to fight the darkspawn. First, they come charging at the king's company, and then someone needs to light a fire in a nearby tower, and that will signal Loghain's company to flank the oncoming darkspawn horde.
Your Majesty, the tower and its beacon are unnecessary. The
We
circle
will
of
not
magi...
trust any lives to your spells, mage. Save them for the darkspawn.
Well, what I think the mage was about to say was like, I could light the tower instantly with magic. I fail to see why we need to light a tower in the first place. Just to tell Loghain's army to flank the enemy. You just flank the enemy. You don't need a beacon. You see them attacking the king's company, and then Loghain or whomever's in the front line just says charge, and they charge until the darkspawn are dead, right? That's pretty simple. What does a fire in a tower have to do with anything here? This entire operation is fairly stupid.
Enough! This plan will suffice. The Grey Wardens will light the beacon.
Thank you, Loghain. I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Ferelden to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Cailan. A glorious moment for us all.
But didn't King Cailan already fight the darkspawn like 3 times already? Well, it's possible Duncan or Alistair wasn't there before in any of those battles. We do know there are other wardens around who have talked to the king.
The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is she? Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the darkspawn here.
So there were none of the very few Ferelden Grey Wardens fighting darkspawn as what they do? In those 3 battles, the king is now suddenly excited to be fighting with Duncan, Alistair, and us now? And all this time I'm thinking, where the hell is our brother and his scouting party in the wilds? Remember Tim Curry's revenge? Surely he must be back by now if the battle will be taking place tomorrow, if not immediately. Now, since we're in charge of lighting the beacon on the tower, which is just across the gorge we came when we went to Ostagar, so it's not very far, we have to ask, when do we light the beacon?
We will signal you when the time is right. Alistair will know what to look for.
Okay, hold up here. You're going to tell us when to light the beacon. If you have this amazing ability with Alistair to communicate at a long distance somehow, why don't you just tell Loghain's men to charge by putting Alistair in Loghain's company? For 1, it'll be a lot faster, and 2, you'll have 2 Grey Wardens in the battle to help Loghain's charge. Did anyone think about what's going on here? Can you smell something is fishy going on in this story? Doing an unexplained and contrived thing at a certain time with a timely operation that's also unexplained? This is not a mysterious event. This is simply bad writing.
Stay with the Terran's men and guard the tower. If you are needed, we will send word.
And how will you send word? Another magical Alistair ability? And why do we need to guard the tower? Why does the fire need to keep being lit? I don't get it. What's so important about this fire in the tower? Or maybe it's the tower itself. Is it a stronghold for archers? And if the fire goes out, does that mean people retreat or they stop charging? I don't understand the strategic importance of this tower exactly. Can't we, or whomever is sending the original signal charge, just use a flaming arrow or any other kind of signal flare? Is that so difficult? I mean, we have mages. Can't they send like a distinct magical signal flare? Then we have a cutscene of the tower, and random soldiers of various ranks and armament ready to fight. This lightly armored chick is dual-wielding axes. I'm no medieval historian, weapon or strategy expert, but she seems a little exposed and a little bit crazy. A lot of these guys aren't wearing helmets, despite being heavily armored, but again, this is the 4th time they're doing this, so apparently they're good at their job. Some ugly and scary looking darkspawn hit the screen. Seems the enemy has some catapults. Make that a lot of catapults. Okay, wait, was that the tower we had to go light? Does anyone have a plan B? So we crossed the bridge anyway. Watch as even more catapults just blow up everyone around it.
You're Grey Wardens, aren't you? The tower, it's been taken.
What are you talking about, man? Taken how?
And how exactly can you tell that we're Wardens? Were you told beforehand? If you maybe previously met Alistair, okay, but I'm wearing exactly the same equipment I've always worn, and now I have my dog with me.
The darkspawn came up through the lower chambers. They're everywhere. Most of our men are dead.
Then we have to get to the beacon and light it ourselves.
Wait, if we've already had men stationed at the tower, what the hell were we doing? Why didn't we just ask them to light it? This is a very inefficient and stupid plan. And how the heck did the darkspawn take the tower that quickly? Wasn't the tower just across the bridge from where we came when we entered Ostagar? How fast are these darkspawn? Did they cross the bridge? What direction did they come from? I mean, this is all very embarrassing from a perspective of intel and strategy, which we suddenly appear to suck at despite already winning 3 battles with this enemy. So we start going up this enormous tower of several levels. It's like a castle unto itself. And it looks like the darkspawn actually set up camp on several levels, as if they've been here for a while now, complete with dismembered people barbecues. We fight through several waves of enemies until finally getting to the top, where we fight the boss, an ogre, and we kill it.
We've surely missed the signal. Let's light it quickly before it's too late.
Wait, we surely missed the signal? Wait a second. How the hell does Alistair not know whether the signal was sent? I thought it was supposedly some magical warden signal only he would know about, since he's already more senior than we are, and he might have been taught some sort of secret warden signaling skill. But no. We've clearly missed the signal. To be fair, this giant romp up the tower has taken quite a while, so it's understood that we could be late. But we don't know for sure because we don't know what the signal is, or was. These details, along with lighting a tower to signal an assault, are very weak, and they're just badly done. It is unnecessarily complex, padded, unexplained, and just simply obscure. At no point should we not know what our next plot point is, and how to get there, or at least how things connect and why. Especially when we're in a fantasy world and no magical event like a signal has been explained to us, and it easily could have been. They could have been sending a raven or a dream, and it'd be like, okay, we're waiting for the raven or the dream. Great. That never happens. Oh, I guess we're late. I guess it never came. We're late. We should go light that signal thing right now. This problem causes everyone involved to be seen as an idiot, despite being seasoned veterans in tactics and in fighting darkspawn. And if it isn't some magical signal only Alistair could detect, like through some kind of telepathy or dreams, how the devil would he or anyone else be able to notice any kind of signal when we're enclosed in this giant tower which seemingly has no windows? And again, if they can just send signals like this, what do we need to light a beacon for? So we light some fireplace. This causes the tower to shoot off like a fire geyser thing, which does not look like it's the right size or to scale compared to this massive building we just walked through, even though it's actually quite large anyway. Loghain sees the signal. He decides to retreat, which is his big reveal or treasonous action of abandoning the king and his plan, the plan that he agreed upon. Duncan has his warden sense tingling. An ogre crushes King Kalen. Duncan then jumps at the ogre and kills it. Rushes over to the king. The enchanting music plays. Then we get attacked by arrows, and it's magical blackout time. And then we're in Morrigan's mom's hut, after her mom apparently saved us by transforming into a giant bird, because mysterious magical lady can do that. Morrigan tells us Loghain abandoned the king, and that darkspawn not only eat people, they drag them down into the ground. Fun. So we go talk to Morrigan's mom, who's named Flemeth, and this officially is the lowest part of the story, as referred to as the void, or the low point in the hero's journey. We've encountered the plot, the rising action, the call to adventure, the wise old woman or guide, some friends, and the void has transformed us from a common person into a warden. And now we must be the ones to tell or warn and prepare the world for the onslaught of the archdemon and the darkspawn. Unfortunately, how we got there was not as well composed or clear as it could have been. What is true and good, at least of the plot, is that since the king is dead, he can no longer promise or at least move his troops to High Ever and attack Tim Curry. So now we're left with nothing, and we have to go and save the world as well.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!